Hey friend, welcome back to Bible Tract Echoes. I'm Michael McCurry, your host, and though I'm going to put on a brave face or a brave voice, yes, that old nemesis, the cold, has caught up with me, and not just that cold, that inexorable beast that lives outside of our chilled windows, but the one that clambers down into your system that causes you to be a little achy, be a little bit stuffy, be a little bit runny, be a little bit coughing? I don't know. Regardless, my voice is less than it should be today, but I'm going to ask you to bear with me because we have a week of thankfulness to talk about. We are hearing from people just like you. So many of you folks have been so kind to respond with items, with things, with themes that you are thankful for. And I've enjoyed reading every single one, and I have some to get through today. We're going to begin in just a moment with Dan, Brother Dan, in West Lafayette, Indiana. But in the meanwhile, if you would like to share what you are thankful for, you say, aren't we past Thanksgiving? Friend, may I implore you, please do not consider Thanksgiving week the only time we should be thankful. It should be a 365. It should be a 52 weeks out of the year type thing. We should not just relegate thankfulness to November. As we look at this time of year, as we celebrate Christ being born of a virgin so he could die on a cruel, rugged cross, please make sure to be thankful. And so we're going to have another week of thankfulness. We had so many people respond, and you can hear a little crinkling as I hear that there. That's me unwrapping a cough drop. Let me pop that in here. And there you go. Hopefully that'll put us in good stead. Throw that away so I don't play with it the entire time. Let's jump in. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to share what you're thankful for, text me at 309-316-7240. Again, that's 309-316-7240. Now, Brother Dan in West Lafayette, Indiana says this: I'm thankful for ministries like BTI that are so deeply involved in getting the word of God out in our nation as well as many other countries. The Bible Tracts have really helped me to do much more witnessing than I have in the past. Having the word to give to people that are in a hurry or just placing one somewhere that someone will pick up, they've been a blessing to me. And Brother Dan, thank you so much for that thought. Thank you for using our gospel tracts. We greatly appreciate it. Let's see, Jenna, I think, in Carrollton, Georgia, says this: I am thankful for the freedom of religion, that I am able to pray, worship, read the Bible, and go to church freely. There are so many around the world in other countries that are persecuted, imprisoned, tortured, and killed for doing it. And that's something I'm so thankful she mentioned both sides of that coin. We are so blessed here in America, but there are many others that they are still blessed by God. They just do not enjoy some of the same freedoms that we do. Brother Billy from Lincoln, California, he goes to a great church out there in the Sacramento area. He says this: he's thankful for a tournament, a basketball volleyball tournament. It's called the Best of the West. My friend AJ Nichols, he actually sings with us in a Goodly Heritage. He, as I recall, it started that tournament or was a big part of that tournament and a few years ago. And I apologize for drinking water on the radio, on the air, but I would not survive if you didn't let me, all right? He says, I'm thankful for the tournament that we host each year. Thankful for all the volunteers that came up and are help, the churches and schools that attend. He's thankful for, Brother Vat Mao for dreaming that up many years ago, and Brother AJ taking it to the next level. And I'm thankful for Brother Luke Donnelly, who's the gentleman that's heading it up this year. And what a blessing it is to know that there are people, I think they had hundreds of young people that there this year that got preached to. Good Bible message. If I recall, I think Pastor Emeritus or Brother Mike Johnson actually preached this year for them. They did I'm sure he did a wonderful job. Let's see, Christiana, I think so. Dawson Springs, Kentucky. I'm thankful for my food bank family. Each box we hand out, you can feel the blessings of God We are thankful daily. We are thankful for daily seeing the smiles in people's faces and hearts as they receive each box of food. What a blessing it is. And I'm thankful for folks that not only talk about the love of God, but also show it. Let's see here. Going to Hayden in Galion, Ohio. Now, this is Hayden, young man, and he says this is such a great thing to be thankful for. I'm thankful for a godly mother. What a wonderful thing for a young man to realize that he should be thankful for. Let's see here. Brittany in Holland Patent, New York. Maybe so. Miss Brittany, I'm not sure exactly where that's at. Maybe I have to Google that. She says this, I'm thankful for a Christ-centered homeschool co-op. What a good thing. Get your kids in a Christ-centered situation there. Let's see here. Brother Mike Bragg, he's a friend of mine from over in Kankakee, Illinois. He goes to Pastor Terry Angel's church. Says this, I am thankful for God's mercy and grace. And Brother Bragg and his dear folks, they help with our newsletter assembly. If you're a donor to BTI, you get a newsletter about 4 times a year or so. And they helped us do our latest newsletter that many of you got. And their folks they had their Christian school helped us with that. And what a blessing they were. Let's see here. Dennis from Phoenix, Arizona says, thankful for God's mercy and compassion. What a blessing to think that God would have compassion and mercy on us. Let's see here. Moving on. Miss Melissa from right here in Dwight, Illinois. Miss Melissa, thank you so much for tuning in and for sharing this. She's thankful for a family that loves me, a church where I can worship God freely, and a career that God has allowed me to have. What a blessing that is. And I know what church you go to because I go to the same one. I'm thankful for that as well. Let's see here. Madison in Maysville, West Virginia. It seems to be a theme this week, today. I'm thankful for God's grace toward me. If you would like to chime in with what you are thankful for, I'd love to hear from you. Let me give you that number one more time. Text me at 309-316-7240. And one of the reasons I enjoy doing this is because it's one thing for me to talk at you all the time, but it's another thing to have a little bit of a conversation that's one-sided. That's a monologue. And I realize that's the format of radio. You turn it on and you listen to what's coming through. But I so enjoy the opportunity to hear back. And then for all of these radio stations, there's 110 radio stations that play Bible Tract Echoes every weekday, for them to know that there are so many people that listen to this broadcast and responded. What a blessing that is as well. Let's move on here. Miss Lena, I think. Lexington, North Carolina. I'm thankful for God's mercy on America. What a blessing it is. And that goes right in line with the freedoms that we still enjoy today. They could go away very quickly. We are unusual in the world in that we have the freedom relative to some other countries where they have the underground church and whatnot. What a blessing we have in America. Let's not take it for granted. Let's not waste it. Jonathan from Leesburg, Georgia says, I'm thankful for the call to shepherding a people for God as a pastor. What a blessing that is. And Pastor Jonathan, thank you so much for your work in Christ's work. Let's see here. Brother Joseph from Sacramento says he's thankful for Calvary. I realize we are some months away from Easter, from Resurrection Sunday. But it would do us well, just like we should be thankful more than just the last week or so of November. We should ponder what Christ did for us. Up from the grave he arose. But before he was in the tomb and came out of the tomb, he was on an old rugged cross. I love those songs about the cross, not because they glorify a grisly form of execution, but because it allows us to think about what Christ did for us. Grab a little drink right there so I can make it through to the end, hopefully. Moving on here. Let's see, Miss Caitlin from Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm curious which one she's talking about. She probably attends a good Bible college because she said this: I'm thankful for a college whose heartbeat is seeing lost souls saved. Miss Caitlin, out there in Charlottesville, Virginia, I know of some good schools out there. Maybe you go somewhere else, though, Midwest, out west. Regardless, I'd love to hear from you, Miss Caitlin, where you go to school. What a blessing that is. Let's see, Ashley from Pinnacle, North Carolina, thankful for my family. And let me say this, let me pause here for just a moment while the thoughts are fresh on my mind. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving with family. I know Thanksgiving break normally for school is not as long as Christmas, so it's likely that more of you will have a chance to be with your family over Christmas. And you got a little time to think about this, to mull this over. Don't go in guns blazing. Don't go in being a jerk. Do your absolute best to show the love of God to your family over this time frame. I don't know what tenseness, I don't know what drama, I don't know what situations you and your family are dealing with, whether your immediate family or maybe a little further afield. But I'd encourage you, like Miss Ashley said here, to be thankful for your family and to let that show in the way that you treat them. Is everyone in your family doing exactly what they should before God? Likely not. If you have a family, just like every other family, it's funny, we call them dysfunctional families. I'm not sure that's fair because it seems like every family is in some way dysfunctional. I think we should just call them normal families. But I'd encourage you to be very careful in the way that you go. Be so careful, be so not tentative. We need to be bold. We need to be right about truth. But we also have an opportunity to pray in advance of these family get-togethers. Let me ask you, friend, when's the last time, before you went over to Grandma's house, before you went over to Crazy Uncle Steve's house, when's the last time you prayed and asked God to give you grace, to have words that were always with grace, seasoned with salt? When's the last time you prayed for God to open a door to witness to that lost family member? Maybe, just maybe, you need to have a little gumption, a little bit of resolve, some fortitude. Maybe there's going to be alcohol, and you need to make some decisions for yourself, and you need to say no to some of these things. Let me encourage you, go in prepared. Go in ready. Don't let things take you by surprise. Don't be a jerk to your family. Be kind. Show God's love to them. If you have a question, or maybe there's something I said that you disagree with, I'd love to hear from you regardless. Text me at 309-316-7240. We're going to continue this week of thankfulness tomorrow. Have a great day for His glory. We'll plan on talking to you soon. God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to Bible Tract Echoes, the radio ministry of Bible Tracts Incorporated. Want to see our gospel tracts and other resources? Visit us online at BibleTractsInc.org. That's BibleTractsInc.org. Or follow us on social media to learn how you can partner with this ministry. Thanks again for listening. May the Lord richly bless you as you live for Him.